The life of an aquatic herbivore may mean non-stop soggy salads, but there's one South American fish that doesn't mind it at all. They may look like their killer kin, but they hide a secret smile that allows them to live the vegan lifestyle. But adaptation is just the name of the game in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy, your 15 minutes, times 2, of interesting animal info. We've done this joke before.
Have we?
Yeah.
Because you got me. I thought you seriously forgot that it was 30-minute show.
No, you didn't. This is a 15-minute show now. We've shortened it by half.
The general infos part is 15 minutes.
Right.
That's the idea.
Well, each show has a bonus 15 minutes at the end.
Which is the major fact.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd just be getting the Wikipedia page in lingo.
Don't worry about it, though. We got you for 15 minutes at the end. Well, here we are in the first 15 minutes.
Covering the Pacu fish.
Yeah. Today we're talking about...
A fish.
A Cheshire fish.
A what?
A Cheshire fish. But more on that later.
All right. Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. I was like, it disappears?
Yeah. And it has stripes, and it's a cat.
We are doing the Pacu fish, which is neither has stripes or is a cat.
Or pockets.
It doesn't have pockets either, unless you count a mouth as a pocket.
Pocket's just a bag on your pants.
Think about that.
Or on your shirt.
Yeah, it's true. Pockets could be anywhere.
If you can keep car keys in it, it's a pocket.
No, because there are those, like, tiny pockets that don't really hold anything.
If you can keep a guitar pick in it, it's a pocket.
Okay, there you go. That's better.
Wallets are pockets.
A bobby pin. Anyway, this is the Pacu fish, which is an entire family of fish. But I will give you the taxonomical breakdown, including one of the largest specimens. And I'll also give the nomenclature for my favorite specimen.
Cool.
All right, so the kingdom is Animalia. The phylum is Chordata.
Uh-huh.
The class is, we've visited this class before, Actinopterygii.
Okay. Was that from the...
It's a fish.
Yeah.
Order is Carassiformes or Caraciformes. It's a CI, so I'm assuming it's a soft C's.
Carassiformes?
Carassiformes.
Like it's uncouth with its language?
Yeah, it's Carassiformes. Forms crass things. It's a largemouth crass.
I'm going to say that to somebody the next time they swear.
Largemouth crass.
Quit being such a largemouth crass. My ears are not a toilet.
All right, the family is Cerasalmidae. Oh yeah, Crassiformes is tetras. If you've ever had an aquarium, I used to have an aquarium, and we had these little, very colorful fish with big, like, flowy tails. Those are tetras. And then Cerasalmidae is actually called, that's the word for serrated salmon family.
The serrated salmon family.
Yeah, because it has a serrated, the Pacu fish has a serrated keel. So from like its mouth along its belly, it's serrated. So other than that, I don't think it has anything to do with salmon.
Okay.
So for the largest species, the black Pacu, or the Tambaqui, is the genus is Colosoma, or Colossoma, and the species is Macropomum. But my favorite species is Paractus brachypomus, which sounds like Caractacus Potts.
Is that your favorite from what?
It sounds like Caractacus Potts from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, wow.
Deep cut.
Yeah. Very timely.
Yeah.
Can't wait for them to remake that.
Because it's 1962.
Yeah.
Right now. But it's my favorite because it looks the most like its cousin, the piranha.
Piranha. That's correct.
So this has been known as the vegetarian piranha.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, I'll let you put 2 on top of 2. Although this thing is not completely a vegetarian.
Because it can't stop talking about it. Because it can't stop talking about vegetarianism.
Right.
Is that why it's called that?
When the Pacu fish enters a room, you immediately know that it's a vegetarian.
Does it also do CrossFit and stuff?
It's not a vegan, though. And it's also not a true vegetarian, like I said.
It's not a vegan, it'll eat eggs?
Sure, I bet you.
I bet it is a vegan.
That's not a vegan. It's not a vegetarian either.
What is?
This fish.
It isn't?
No.
Oh, tell me what it eats.
I will. Okay, we can skip right to the diet. The diet is, well, they mostly eat vegetation, fruit, seeds, tree nuts, stuff that falls in the water. But if they can find that stuff, they'll eat other fish.
Well, dag now. Okay.
Like it's not their number one menu item, but it's not off the menu.
Right. I mean, fish are savages like that.
Yeah.
Fish eat fish.
It's a fish eat fish world out there. Which is crazy. Fish definitely eat fish more than dogs eat dogs.
Yeah, pretty much. Like 100% more.
I don't think there's a dog or a canine out there whose sustenance is other dogs.
Yeah, I know.
So it's definitely a fish eat fish world out there. So the Pacu fish, it is native to South America, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, the Guyanas, mostly the Amazon rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
A giant piece of land down there in South America. It likes warm water.
That 100-acre wood down there.
It's a little more than 100 acres. More like hectares. But these things make initially nice aquarium pet fish.
Because they look like piranhas. People love those.
Yeah, it's cool to have a piranha in your tank. And you're like, hey, check out this piranha. But it's really a Pacu fish. Because it's not about to like swarm and kill all of the other fish that you put in there. Or your hand.
Swarm and kill my hand.
You don't want your hand to be killed. So they like warmer water. Obviously, they live in the Amazon. But they're pretty adaptable. And they can live almost anywhere except in super cold water.
Right.
So they've been found in salt water and in fresh water. Maybe that's why they're the salmon.
Mm.
Maybe that's where that comes from. They've been found in Europe, Thailand, India, and Scandinavia, which you don't think of when you think of warm water.
No.
So here's what they look like. I've already said they look like a piranha, so let's start there.
Let's do it.
It's a big, wide, flat, arrowhead-shaped fish with low-set eyes and a tiny fish mouth. So you've got your piranha pretty much. But even though they look like piranhas, they get to be a lot bigger than piranhas do. And here's where they make bad aquarium fish. And this is what I didn't know. They don't stop growing just because the tank is small. I used to think that about all cold-blooded animals.
It's true of goldfish, right?
I don't know.
Goldfish can be pretty big.
But there are a lot of different species of goldfish. I think
true.
you just got to get the right kind of goldfish. I always thought that as long as you kept the tank small, it would like look at the tank and be like, I'm keeping it real. But no, apparently they will outgrow the tank. So that brings us to how big it is.
Oh.
And it would be nice if we had like some sort of segment where we could let the viewer or the listener rather know just exactly how big this thing is.
Well, you're in luck.
Really?
Because that means it's time for the listener's most favoritist segment of the show. Measure up! I've heard you've got some facts. I've got some facts. Let's do some quizzing.
This time we'll quiz each other.
Let's get quizzical.
Why should I have all the fun? Or you're having all the fun. I don't know who's having more fun when you quiz me.
Okay, so they can be as large as 1.08 meters, which is 3.5 feet. Is that what you got?
Yep, that's just about as long as an anglerfish.
Yeah.
Call back.
Yeah. Listen to that episode. So how many Pacu fish go into a Shetland pony's height at the withers? So that means...
What is a wither?
The back. That's a horse's back.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now you know that.
I do know that now. So you sit on its withers?
Yeah.
Why is it plural?
You just stick your nithers on its withers and get going.
Oh my gosh. Why do I feel like that's never been said before? But it has to have been.
Nope.
Okay.
I made it up.
All right, so from the ground to its withers.
Uh-huh.
How many?
Pacus.
To a Shetland pony.
Yeah.
Which is traditionally small.
Yes.
I'm going to say 1.
Yeah, exactly right. It's, in fact, not only is it's 1, it's exactly 1. 3.5. And 3.5 feet is the maximum height you can be at the withers to be a Shetland pony.
Well, so your species changes if you get a little bit taller than that? If you
It's
get
not
to
a. I
3.6?
don't think it's a species. I didn't do a lot of research about the Shetland pony for this, but I think it's a type of breed, and for it to be considered that breed, it's like it's like saying it's like whiskey. It's like Scotch whiskey. It has to be from Scotland. You can make it the exact same way outside of Scotland, and it's not.
But so it's a pony from Shetland?
I guess it's a type.
Which sounds like a place in England, I guess.
I don't have all the Shetland pony answers.
Where's my research on Shetland ponies? All right, so I got one.
Okay.
3.5 feet, as we said. How many of these fish go into the Beast roller coaster at Kings Island, Ohio?
So the length?
It's
the length of the roller coaster?
I think it's the longest wooden roller coaster in the world.
Okay.
I've been on it. It's pretty crazy.
I've never been on it.
Also, you feel like your teeth are going to fall out because it's very,
yeah,
very
because
like,
wooden
shaky.
roller coasters are not fun because they shake you up.
Not anymore.
So I don't know much about roller coasters, and I'm terrible at judging length of distance. I'm gonna guess.
It could also. It may not be the longest. I know it has some sort of record. Maybe the oldest, maybe the longest, or maybe the highest.
Let me just crunch the numbers real quick.
You can't look at your phone.
I'm just in the calculator. This divided by
It's so unfair.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say 100.
So you think it's 350 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 2,000.
Wow.
So
That's a long roller coaster. I feel like that's long.
it might be the longest roller coaster. Maybe that's the accolade it has.
Okay.
And I also went on the Son of the Beast, which is also a wooden roller coaster in the same park.
Wow.
All right, so you want to go to Wait?
Yeah. So how many?
I said 2,000.
2,000. 2,000 fish?
Yeah, 2,000 of these fish go
I thought it was 2,000 feet.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's so long.
So it's what,
Your
like
teeth are rattling out of your head.
it's like 6,000 feet,
Oh my gosh.
right? Yeah. No, it's more than that. It's a 7,000 foot roller coaster from start to finish.
Gee, that's your whole day.
It's your whole thing. I bet you like the Hulk is just as long. It
Yeah,
moves really fast.
I can't have no mind for judging the length of a roller coaster.
You just need to, now that you know this one, you
Yeah.
can judge the length of other roller
Yeah.
coasters.
It would probably be more helpful to know the ones I've actually been on.
True, yeah.
But let's talk about weight. 40 kilograms or 88 pounds. How many Pacu fish go into a Clydesdale?
Oh,
Mine are horse themed.
yeah, I know. You definitely like the horses here. Well, Clydesdale is huge. I think it's like the biggest
It's the
horse,
biggest
right?
horse.
The heaviest horse. With or without the Budweiser wagon behind it?
Without the
Budweiser wagon. Oh, okay.
But with the little furry tufts on the bottoms of its hooves.
With the mane all put up into ribbons?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have to factor the ribbons
Minus
in.
the...
And plus, aren't their tails usually shorn?
I don't think so.
Not them.
Like, think about the horse from Beauty and the Beast. That's a Clydesdale.
Sure, I know what a Clydesdale.
But I mean, it's got regular mane, regular tail.
All right, so I mean, I know it's between 1,000 and 3,000 pounds. That's I feel like that's a good range for the Clydesdale.
It's a large range.
So I'm gonna go in the middle and say,
like an elephant is like 4,000 pounds.
really?
Yeah, like 2 tons, right?
I thought an elephant was 12,000 pounds.
Good question.
I'm pretty sure an elephant is
Maybe they can lift 2 tons.
really, really heavy. I'm gonna say it's 2,500 pounds, and
oh, you're right. Wow, 12,000 pounds.
oh wow, on the nose.
13 for a African elephant.
One of those charged my van. Anyway,
6 tons.
all right, so 2,500 pounds.
Yeah.
And this thing is 88 pounds. So what is that? I'm not going to pull out my phone and use the crutch of technology.
You just have the podcast listeners listen to you.
I'm going to say 30.
Pretty dang close. 25. 25 Pacus go into a
Man,
Clydesdale.
and that's what I used. I was like, okay, so if I put it up to 100, then it's 2,500. So I'm going to put it up a little bit more to make the difference between 88 and 100. Oh, so that's pretty good.
So
that might be the closest I ever get.
You got it right on the money on the last one. but that was kind of easy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wait, you got to go.
Yeah.
All right. So how many of these go into a cruise ship anchor?
Oh, my gosh.
Not just any anchor, a cruise ship anchor.
Okay.
An anchor for the largest ship in the world.
To anchor a ship. Now I'm thinking about the water. And pulling things on the water is easier than you think because tugboats can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Tugboats can pull like huge barges. They're just little tugboats. Okay, so you got to have an anchor that will stop the waves and the stuff from moving the thing. So that's going to be pretty hefty, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
now that I'm doing the math, this seems wrong. There's your hint.
okay, I'm going to go high. I'm going to go high and assume that an anchor is like 20,000 pounds. Like, really? Is that really heavier than an elephant we've found?
That is heavier than an elephant. 20,000 pounds by 8,000 pounds.
227.
Dang.
Is that?
It's 300.
Okay.
If I was sitting in your chair, I would not have thought that an anchor is 20,000 pounds. I would have thought an anchor is 2,000 pounds. Maybe.
No, see, the whole elephant fiasco really made me rethink weights.
A cruise ship anchor is 26,000 pounds, a little over that.
Okay.
So 300 of these guys, of the Pacu fish, go into cruise ship anchor.
Wow.
That is crazy heavy.
Yeah.
But also, a cruise ship is crazy heavy.
Yeah.
All right, so
that seems even low to me.
now that we've talked about how big it is, 3.5 feet is pretty darn big. 88 pounds is also very big. And this thing does not respect a tiny fish bowl. It's just going to keep growing.
Uh-huh.
So, like most pets that grow bigger than you want them to, people are like, oh, I had this piranha this faux piranha in my tank, and now it's 3.5 feet long. It's twice as big as my tank, so I'm going to have to throw this into
the ocean or the river,
the bayou, or wherever I happen to be. And that's why they're everywhere.
And they're adaptable, so they don't just die.
And voracious eaters.
Yeah, eating all these like McDonald's salads people throw into the water.
Yeah, whenever I get a McDonald's salad, I just find the first body of water that I can find and just dump it in there and hope that a Pacu fish eats it. So they're heavily fished, overfished in the Amazon. The whole river is overfished by commercial fishermen. But it's apparently really delicious. Theodore Roosevelt himself said it was very delicious.
That's a man whose opinion I respect.
Yeah, he has this book about his tours in Brazil, and he gives this whole guide on what to use to catch a Pacu and how to cook it and stuff like that.
Okay.
So there you go. That's what I have on the Pacu fish. Other than that, it kind of stares into the middle distance and gapes like a fish.
Yeah. So that's the end of the podcast.
That's all I got. That was 15 minutes, right?
Yep.
A little more than that.
Now it's time for the bonus 15 minutes tacked on to the end.
Oh, you didn't think you were getting that? we just love you guys so much. Extra 15 minutes.
Give you the major fact, the reason you came.
Okay.
So here's a little thing about this Pacu fish. It's related to the piranha, as we've talked about. But there's one key difference, and that's it's got a face full of human teeth.
Ugh.
So if I'm Theodore Roosevelt, I'm putting like Twinkies and like hot dogs and stuff at the end of those line.
Did they have Twinkies at the turn of the century?
I don't know. Probably not soon after. I mean, probably soon after.
When I think of Twinkies, I think of like 1955 or something like that. Like just post-war industrial food. Oh, now you're going to look this up.
I have to.
It's not like, I think Theodore Roosevelt was president in like 1903. So I don't think they were around back then. I don't think they didn't have plastic back then. You couldn't package a Twinkie.
1930.
Okay, there we go. Still, that's a lot earlier than I thought. But hot dogs, I think, were around.
Oh, sure. Well, sausages
and bread.
But not really. Okay, so let me what do I mean? What do I mean by human teeth? They have teeth that are wide and flat and have basically like the front teeth of a human being. So it's like flat, square and flat.
The incisors?
Yeah, the incisors. And then it also has molar-ish looking. Some have more molar-ish looking ones.
Yeah, I saw some molars.
And some have, flat and square
So it's
ones.
not the super sharp serrated teeth of the piranha.
Right. And they unlike humans, though, they don't have canines.
Okay.
And unlike piranhas, they don't have an underbite. They have, in some cases, more of an overbite.
I guess that helps.
Yeah.
It helps to have, if you're a plant eater, it helps to be able to grind your teeth together.
Yeah, I'm about to talk about that.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, I don't want to get ahead.
But what I want to know is why does it help to have an underbite? Why is that good?
It's a genetic abnormality.
In piranhas?
Oh, and maybe.
Yeah.
You definitely, if you have really, really sharp teeth, you don't want your teeth clacking together no matter
Right.
what. So either an overbite or an underbite, and they just have underbites maybe.
Yeah, and the teeth are everywhere. So, so since they're so closely related to the piranha, why do they have vastly different teeth? And you touched on it. Animals all eat different things, and you can tell sometimes what they eat based on their teeth. And they have different chewing and biting mechanisms. For instance, the spinner dolphin has 252 teeth. It has the most teeth.
Of any animal?
I think so, of any animal.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought sharks had the most teeth.
I think it's this dolphin. And actually, things that live in the water tend to have more teeth than things that live on land. On the other hand, blue whales have no teeth at all because they just eat different things. They have baleen instead of teeth. So you can tell what a creature eats based on what its teeth are and how it chews. So,
We already talked about what the pacu fish eats.
yeah. So piranhas are carnivorous, eating flesh and scales and nasty stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the pacu fish mainly eats plant material and tree nuts and stuff like that.
Fruit. I think it's a part frugivore.
Frugivore, that means it's
Eats fruit.
it really watches what its budget is.
It only eats the fruit that it can spare.
Just the fruit of the loom. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's some nasty foreshadowing.
So carnivores typically have sharp teeth and pronounced canines for tearing flesh.
My whole concept of fruit of the loom has just been completely changed in just the worst way.
That's why it's called that.
No, it's not.
I made that up. Herbivores, or herbivores, as some may say, have flat teeth for scraping and grinding plant material. So plant matter has cell walls, right?
Sure.
Animal cells don't have that. Plant cells do.
Okay.
Which it makes them harder to break down and digest.
It's the starch.
Yeah. So you'll have stuff like sharks and other fish that just kind of swallow things whole. They'll rip off a chunk and swallow it.
They have no decor.
Decorum. Yeah.
So there you go.
And then they're able to digest that. But plant matter, it's just harder on your digestion system to break through that cell wall. So it needs to be pulverized during chewing as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Some animals, like cows, have jaws that move side to side,
Mm-hmm.
so that facilitates grinding even more. And then others develop teeth for defense, like it's sports.
It's only defense if it's sports. Other than that, it's defense.
Defense, yeah, that's strange.
That is
Why
weird.
is it like that?
Except for the chant. Defense.
Yeah, I guess you're
It's
right.
not defense.
So, like, elephants and walruses have those are actually teeth, those tusks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're developed that way for courtship rituals, ritualistic fighting, and then also defense. Omnivores like apes, bears, and you and me,
And the pacu fish.
and the pacu fish. No, not like the pacu fish.
It is omnivorous.
Yeah, but the rest of this sentence,
It doesn't make sense.
no, have a combination of canine teeth for tearing and molars for grinding.
All right, I'll lay off the omnivorous part just because it's like
Well, it's
fish
not-
aren't part of its actual diet.
Yeah, I'm sure, like like a dog will eat a carrot sometimes but it's not meant to eat a carrot.
Right.
Like
Although, sure, yeah.
Dogs are mostly carnivorous.
Right.
So you wouldn't say a wolf is omnivorous.
No.
But
It'll eat grass to throw
if
up.
there's a tasty morsel, it ain't going to turn its nose to it, you know?
Like pizza.
Yeah. Pizza is a vegetable.
It is one vegetable.
So the Pacu fish and the piranha have different teeth because the Pacu fish likes to eat cell walls. And it grinds them up good. And that leads me to something nasty that it supposedly likes to grind up.
I've heard this story.
But it might not be true.
And I have a rebuttal. Speaking of fruit of the loom.
So Pacus were found in the Øresund, which is the strait between the Danish and Swedish border.
Oh, it's Øresund with a slash to the O.
Yeah. That keeps coming up.
Whatever that means.
So a professor at Copenhagen Museum of Natural History warned male swimmers that the Pacus can mistake male genitals for tree nuts and take a bite. Okay. Said he literally was like, tighten your swim trunks, men.
Because if they fall off, you're going to be unhappy about that.
Right. Or
the Norwegian waters are swarming with testicle-eating fish. But
this claim was pretty much false. Later, the professor actually clarified that this was a joke, mostly. It's a
weird thing to say in a press release if it's a joke.
Well, it was partially a joke. He said he was like, "There's not that many of them here." A, B, they're probably more likely than not going to come up to a human and bite it. No matter, especially swim up the trunks and go for like looking for something that looks like a tree nut. You know, like it's just,
I don't know what kind of tree nuts it's used to.
So I think that the claim is generally just nonsense because they're not known to just take chunks out of people. They're herbivores by nature. That's what they're probably going to be doing the most. And
they're fish. Not too many fish swim toward humans.
Except for piranhas.
True.
Which also that might not be.
And sharks.
Yeah. So the Pacu and its humanistic chompers were so creepy, though, that it's still a widely held belief that look at this fish with its human teeth. It's going to take a bite out of you.
It's weird.
In the deep.
Deep in teeth do not rhyme.
It's a slant rhyme.
Sure.
You said you have a rebuttal?
My rebuttal is that I don't think that's true.
No, it isn't true. It isn't true. But, I mean, if I'm swimming in Pacu-infested water, I'm definitely going to keep my shorts on.
Me too.
But pretty much, if I'm ever swimming in public.
If I'm swimming at all, my shorts are on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the skinny dipping type. Especially when there are animals in the water.
Yeah, just keep your fruit of the loom in the loom.
That was gonna be my ender. You ruined it. I'll still say I'll say something along those lines.
Okay.
So that's all I got for the Pacu fish.
Yes.
And that's all you got for the Pacu fish?
Yes.
So, to you, the listener, lace up your shorts, brush your teeth, keep your fruit inside your loom in life, death, and taxonomy. Boy, I sure do love animals like ants, bats, spiders, and wolverines. But do you know what I love even more than that? Metahumans that take on those animals as anthropomorphic identities.
Me too.
You called?
Oh, hey, Chris. What made you cross dimensions from your podcast, Play Comics, which takes a look at how comics meet video games, over here to our show?
Did you overhear my pining for animal superheroes?
Of course. I have transdimensional podcast Sonar Communication. It's just one of the many things you pick up while listening to my show.
I'm sold. How can we gain such power?
Just subscribe to Play Comics on Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcasting app you use, to learn all about why Arkham Asylum is the best comic book turned video game since The Amazing Spider-Man for PS1. You know, when we get that far, because it's going to be a while.
Oh, and I also like wasps. Is there a wasp?
Yes, there's a wasp superhero.
And a panther?
Yeah?
Octopus?
Uh-huh.
Don't go! I had so many more questions!
Well, I guess we'll just have to listen to Play Comics to find out more.
This podcast is brought to you in part by the Brain Trust Brothers Network. For more information about this podcast or others, visit braintrustbros.com.
So if the underwear are the fruit of the loom, what is the loom? The factory?
I thought a loom was something that you weaved clothes on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. So the loom is the factory.
You weave. So you weave a pair of underwear on this loom, and now you have the fruit of the loom. Oh my gosh! How did I never think of that?
Well,
There, now you have plenty of material for the end of the episode.